Welcome to the Excelsior Health Podcast. Guys, this is the podcast for busy professionals and busy parents who are looking to lose 20 plus pounds of fat while building strength and ultimately transform their health. The thing that we do, guys, on this podcast, we take the complicated, confusing things about fitness and nutrition, and we break it down to simple tactics and strategies so that way you guys can get real results and build a healthy lifestyle. Today, guys, we have an amazing episode. One of my favorite styles is when we do our transformation interviews. And today, you guys have one of my longest lasting students at TFW Sauga. So I'm super honored and I'm excited for her to share her transformation journey today. You guys are going to be super inspired. Shout out to my girl, Reena.
Thank you.
You excited?
Yes.
We had a couple shots of tequila before we did this, but let's get to it, girl. So give yourself your introduction. Let people know about you, your bio, background, all the good stuff.
Okay, so I'm 43. I have two kids. My daughter's 14 and my son's 16. I've been married for almost 20 years now. And yeah, I've been part of the program since day one, so it's going to be about 10 years.
When you say that, I'm just thinking like, man, like I've known you when your kids were like 4 and 6 years old, and now they're just like in high school, just running around.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
I have pictures. I was going through my phone the other day, and I have pictures of Ria when she's like part of the group and taking pictures, and she's so small.
Now she's way taller than you.
She's like, yeah, it's like honey.
And what do you do for work?
I'm an executive assistant, so I support a bunch of CEOs and executives at a healthcare technology company.
And now 41?
43.
43. Now, what did Honey say? 49 or something?
Yeah, she said it was almost 50, yeah.
So basically, Reena's a perfect example. She's the ideal avatar. She's like one of the many clients that we have here that are busy professionals, busy parents, typically in their 40s, typically have anywhere from 2 to 3 kids, has a great career. But one of the things that we're trying to prioritize is our health and fitness. So I want to go back, Reena. Let's go back more than 10 years ago. We've been open for 10 years, but me and you have been working together maybe a little bit more than that.
Yep.
As I was personal training. So she's going to give her side of the story. I'll give my side of the story. So if we go back, this is maybe 2015,
Yeah.
right? So 2015, I am in a really difficult place in my life. I'm trying to figure myself out. I'm a personal trainer. I run like boot camps. I'm going from different places, backyards, renting out places. And I'm renting out space at this other gym. And I'm working out on my own. I'm doing a great workout. And I see this young woman over here. And at the time, she's not who you see right now. She's about 300 pounds. All right. And she's doing a workout with a trainer who has owned the gym. And I'm working out, but I'm just like frustrated. I'm kind of pissed off because I'm watching her do certain things. And I'm like, man, like, this girl's putting so much effort in, right? She's not walking around rolling her eyes, putting half-ass. She's like putting a lot of effort, but the trainer has her doing the wrong strategy. So she's there nonstop on the battle ropes, then hooked up to some weird bands and just doing weird things. And it just really, really bothered me so much. And like in my soul, I was like, man, I know if I were to work with her, I can make a better difference in her life. And I don't know what happened if she went into the other room with him or she left the session, but I felt compelled. And at the time, this was before Instagram and stuff like that. Facebook was still around,
Yep.
right? But I had these business cards that this is how I would leave it on people's cards and things like that. So I went in my bag, got my business card, and I dropped it into her bag, which was at where people put their shoes and stuff. And I was like, man, who knows? Who knows what will happen? And sure enough, I don't know if it was a month, couple months, time went by, and then she had reached out, and I was like, yes. And then we started basically working together not too long after that. But what I found out, after I've told this story so many times to our clients, is like she didn't even find the business card. She just found me some way. So go back to your side now. How the hell did you like even get a hold of my contact, all that stuff?
So I remember you working out at this facility, and I could see you watching me, and I could see the frustration in your face. And to be honest, I had the same frustration. Like you said, he had me doing like, I was pushing tires, I was climbing ropes, I had a sledgehammer in my hand at times. But I knew that's not what I needed. Like I needed basic exercise and training.
Yeah.
So after I left him, I looked you up and I contacted you on Facebook Messenger.
Good. I see
But
it.
I could feel the frustration you had.
You could
I
tell
could
it,
see it.
eh?
I could see you wanting to approach me, but you didn't.
See, you ruined my story though. I always thought it was the business card that dropped in there that got you.
No, I don't even know about this.
But what made you like? So, for example, because this as a coach, I always get frustrated when clients don't understand the difference of good training and bad training. And I know it's hard, but a lot of times people will go places, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, how do you not see?
I
So
didn't
at
know
that
any
time,
better. I didn't.
but you just said right now, like you were in there and you're like, I feel something's off, like what you were doing. You just didn't know better.
I just didn't know better, and I knew what I was doing wasn't working. And like I didn't even step on a scale with him once. So
Yeah.
it was like, how are you measuring what I'm doing?
Right. And we'll go over that in this episode, like things that, good coaches should do, what good training is. We're going to go all explore that. But, going back to the story, we started to work together, and it's just such a powerful testimonial of like, training consistently over long periods of time, right? Sticking to it, coach and student relationship, trust, and we've had ups and downs along the way. But when she started the journey, she was about, I want to say 297.
Close to that.
That was like the number around there.
Yep.
And I remember sitting down with her, going through the process, asking the questions, and we would weigh in basically every single week. And we would train 3 times a week. And I remember when me and Reena started, very poor mobility, very poor flexibility. Our workout was the warm-up.
Yeah.
We would do a warm-up that typically would take you maybe 15 minutes now. That took us maybe like 40 minutes to do. And then we would start with just maybe 3 exercises. But that was the beauty of it, is like we did it the right way.
Yes.
And then not too long after, like maybe 2 months after that, I ended up opening Training for Warrior Sauga. And of course, Reena was one of my first clients who trusted me, and our process began. She already started to lose the weight, but it's like when she came in here, I can see other people being surprised on like how good you can move. And that was just something that kept going on, as your strength, your mobility, your athleticism continued to develop. And so much people would be inspired of what you can do based on your size as well, right? So for you, give us some insights. That's a little bit of my background of things I've seen. Give me some insight, and everybody listening, like who was Reena, 10, 11 years ago? What were you going through, and what made you feel compelled to kind of join this program and seek out help?
Yeah, so I had my kids, my son's 16 and my daughter's just turned 14. So they're less than 2 years apart, and I had them very close in age. After I had my son, I gained a lot of weight. And then I got pregnant, so I gained even more weight. When she was born with something called a cleft palate, where the roof of her mouth didn't join together when she was developing in my womb. So when she was born, we had to, feed her in a special way. We had to go to classes to learn how to feed her. I couldn't breastfeed. We had to go to social support help, like me and my husband. We lived as sick kids for a good year.
Mm.
And then just after she turned a year, she had plastic surgery where they repaired the top of her mouth by taking other tissue from her body. Wow. And using that. So it was like an 8-hour surgery where they had her mouth pried open.
Jeez.
So when she came out of surgery, like you couldn't even see her eyes. That's how swollen her face was.
Wow.
But even after that, for 6 weeks, she had to be put in restraints in her arms so that she wouldn't put something in her mouth. Because as a toddler, as a baby, like the first thing they want to do is put everything in your mouth. So I sat by her for every day of her life, every minute of her life. One, I blamed myself for the way that this happened and what happened. I felt like it was my being so overweight and not in shape and not in good health, which had caused this. And I didn't want anybody else helping her but me. Mm. So within those, I would say a good 3 years, I think I must have gained 50 to 60 pounds.
Wow.
Just sitting by her side and doing nothing.
Just completely focused on her.
Just completely focused on her. Like I couldn't carry her down the stairs. I was so overweight. Like my husband had to carry her down, and then I could meet them down at the stairs. It was really bad. And so at that point, I knew I had to do something.
See, like I've coached you now for 10 years, and I never knew that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then even after that, she's had a couple surgeries, but now she's perfectly fine. She goes for a yearly checkup as sick kids. She's had to have speech therapy. She's had to have work on her dental, on everything, like in her ENT.
Okay, so going back, you had obviously a big dramatic situation in your life, and obviously not just you, it's your daughter. So that pulls a lot of your emotional attention, your priorities. But even before that, you would say you were overweight.
Yeah, I've
And
been
you've always
overweight my
struggled
entire life.
with your weight,
Yeah.
right? And for you at that time, that was even something that made it even worse.
Yeah.
What was the breaking point that was like, I'm doing this now? Was there someone in your life? Like what made you like get signed up to somewhere?
I just couldn't do anything with the kids. Both of them, like I had them both home. They were both under 2 years old, and I couldn't move. You know, I was fortunate enough. I had my in-laws. I live with my in-laws, so they were a huge help.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that I needed to do something with my health.
And you know, in the program, we always talk about like your why power, the emotional reason why you're going to break through something and go to the next level. How would you describe for you at that state? Because I know it evolved.
They were my why.
Right.
I wanted to be like I would die for them, but I wanted to live for them at that point.
Okay. And then now moving forward, talk about the journey. So I mentioned a little bit, me and you were just around the 300-pound point. You started losing weight quickly. In that first year of being at Training for Warrior Sauga back in 2016, you lost like 40 to 50 pounds. You were our student of the year back in 2016.
Yeah.
You had amazing progress. Give me some insight to your journey, which has been an amazing journey. What are you, what are you most proud about on this journey?
You know, like it's been 10 years, and that promise I made to myself in 2016, I never forgot about it. So that's what pushed me through every year. 10 years later, I've still made that promise to myself, and I'm still fulfilling it to this day.
Good. And then for yourself, I feel like we've had different seasons, right, of your journey. You know, we've had seasons where you were just like an open book, like just tell me what to do and I'll do it. We've had seasons where you weren't really as focused. You've had seasons where you're super engaged, learning, consuming, applying it. Now, talk a little bit about the journey, I guess the ups and downs, things you've experienced along the way, because it hasn't been just like 10 years of I'm just in this magical place.
Yeah, it's been many ups and downs throughout the journey. You know, it's just, I want to say life gets in the way, but I kind of feel like that's an excuse as well. I just lose focus. You know, you get busy, you go on vacations, you gain back that weight, and it's like, what's the point? I can't do this again and again and again. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you have your kids there, you have your why, you have your, like, the things that you're looking forward to, and you see other people around you. I think that's a huge thing. Like, you know, there was a point where I really felt like I was going to give up, but then another former student here lost 100 pounds right before my eyes. And that kind of reignited a fire inside of me saying, she just did that. I can do that. Like, I can work harder than she did. I can do this. Mm-hmm. And I did it, you know, and then COVID got in the way. COVID was around the corner, and it was a good thing. Like, I think I got my best results over COVID. And again, that showed me I can do this. Even though we didn't have a facility to work out in, I did the at-home workouts. I did a lot of walking, and I hit the 100 pounds. Mm-hmm. And then again, I gained some of it back. You know, everything socially opened up. I lost focus again. Life got busy again. We were back in the workforce. Kids had their sports again, and I gained some of it back.
So if I want to give people like a little bit of timeline, right? Like first year of like real training, doing things the right way, you lost like 50 pounds. And then I want to say on that point, it was like gradual loss, right? Like, so let's say you were about at that point, maybe like 220 or something like that, 230.
Yeah.
And then from that point, I think she kept losing. You probably got under 200 pounds. Yeah. And then in COVID, like she was saying, 2020, when all that craziness was happening and we were all stuck at home, it was almost like a blessing for you and some people. Some people, obviously, it was a crisis. There was a lot of hard things. But I always say, and I was trying to preach this message to our students, is this could be a blessing or an opportunity. And I know for sure Reena took it as an opportunity to slow things down. And at that time, for her, the main things you did was spend time with your family. Yep. And basically walk your ass off, pay attention to your food, and we would do our body weight at-home workouts. Yeah. And I think during that time, it was like 220, was it? 200?
When I started?
Like during COVID, 200 to almost down to 160 something, yep. Right?
Yeah.
So it was in that time range during COVID where she lost another 40 something pounds, got down to the 160s, the best shape of her life. And then world opens up. We're more social. We're back to working at home and at the work, and things just change.
Yeah.
And then for you, explain a little bit of what happened during that time.
Like I said, life just got busy. You know, my kids were both older. They were both in a lot of sports. I was back at work. We were eating out again a lot. You know, I totally lost focus of what I wanted to do and who I could be.
How did it make you feel knowing that, you know, you went through this transformation, everybody knows, gave you all this praise, and then like slowly you see yourself gaining it back?
Yeah, it's deflating, right? It's embarrassing. It's deflating. And it's more of a mindset. Like it's a game that your mental mind plays with you. It's like, yes, you did it. You deserve it. But do you really deserve it? Like, you have to take care of your kids. You have a husband. You have to take care of all that. Maybe you should focus on that now and not focus on yourself so much.
What made you, I always thought about it, like what made you not, number one, just give up on yourself and just say, "Ugh, I can't do it." I knew I was, like you said, my identity, I knew I was supposed to be overweight. What was I thinking doing all this stuff I wasn't going to do there? But then also it's like, what made you not leave here? Because a lot of the times people, whether it's this place or other programs, they'll look outwards instead of looking inward and say, oh, it must be this place. I'm just going to go somewhere else. What made you?
It was an outlet for me. Like it was a way to escape all the stress, all the busyness. And I enjoyed it. I have friends here. I've made amazing friendships here. I loved all the coaches. And it was an escape for me. It was like my time to have fun.
Yeah, but what made you not like, I feel like I appreciate that answer, but it's like, what made you like not say, ah, man, screw this place. Like, I'm going to go find somewhere else. Like, what was it? What kept you believing, like, you know what? I know if I just change things around, I reapply myself.
Down, I knew I could do it. I needed a push.
Gotcha.
Like I needed people around me to be like, you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the type of person who needs a lot of accountability, and I need people to tell me you can do it.
Good.
I don't believe in myself.
Yeah. And I think you do believe in yourself. It's just, you need, like everybody, we all need it. We just need those reminders of who we are and what we're capable of. And I think that was kind of what this year was, right? I think me and you, I reached out to you and I said, hey, Reena, like, you know, I want what's best for you. I believe there's more into you. And we had a good heart to heart this year. And I said, hey, like, what do you want to accomplish this year?
And honestly, like just talking about you, like when I tell my kids not to do something and watching them do it over and over and over again, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like, screw it. If you're not going to listen, don't do it. But you've seen me make mistakes year after year after year. You've never once said, you know what, maybe this isn't the program for you. Like, I think I felt the belief you had in me, and that's what kept me going.
I appreciate it.
To be honest, yeah.
And that's, to me, you know, from Martin Rooney, you know how he's had a big impact on me. That's one of the main lessons that I've always learned as a coach is like, you have to believe in someone more than they believe in themselves. And sometimes long enough till you start to believe in yourself, right? So I'm always the type where it's like, especially if I see the effort, I'm going to keep believing. And that's one thing about Reena that I want everyone to understand is even though she went through the ups and downs and gained the weight, she still was giving effort. It just sometimes the strategies overall weren't being executed. But showing up 3-4 days a week, 5 days a week, that was like a consistent thing that you were doing.
Yeah.
Right? So this year, which has just been so amazing to watch, it's, you know, we started the year at 220, right?
225.
Excuse me, 5 pounds. 225. And now today, what are you at?
165.
Amazing. Right? So that is, give me my math. I'm bad at math.
I don't know.
50 something pounds. Not even the year's done, but like, man, like we hit our goal, right?
Almost, yeah.
Well, what's the main goal?
160.
160. Right now, you're what?
165.
5 more pounds to go.
Yeah.
So pretty amazing. And then, you know, we have the 10-year anniversary in January. So I told her she's got to pick out a nice dress and get ourselves ready and show it off. But give some deeper insight. So those are some things. Give some things about what are you proud of? Like, obviously, you've had the fat loss, the weight loss. What about strength, the performance, things you've had to overcome?
Yeah, I've always been proud of my strength. But one thing that's been challenging is as you gain the weight, you get stronger, right? Because you've got more muscle on your body. So as you lose the weight, I personally get weaker. And those PRs are like not even anywhere close to what I can get right now. So that's been a bit of a challenge, having to, you know, put those on a side and see them again one day. But for now, I know I need to just focus on getting my strength back up there. And I know like this year's been a focus on nutrition. So I've kind of had to put my strength a bit to the side. But yeah, very proud of my strength and some of the PRs that I've once hit.
We've had a lot of that's been a lot of our conversations sometimes is like, Reena, we can sacrifice a little bit off our back squat. We can sacrifice a little bit off our deadlift.
But it really sucks.
For you to lose the body fat and be healthier.
Yeah.
Right. And so those of you guys like understand that is part of the journey is, some like my PRs as a man, some of my biggest deadlifts and bench presses, I had more weight. But more what we're going for is the overall picture of health is, yes, we're going to be strong, but hey, we want to have a good, healthy weight. We want to be functional. We want to be faster, athletic, all those things.
Yeah.
So yeah, what else? What other things are you super proud about?
Like I said, the promise I made to myself 10 years ago, I'm proud that I've continued to make that promise every year and hold myself to it. I'm proud that I've inspired many people around me, especially my family, like my kids. My husband's down like 50 pounds this year.
Damn, Sonny's killing it like that?
Yeah, like,
Ooh,
and the thing that sucks is that when we go somewhere and we see friends and family, they're all like, holy shit, you lost so much weight to him. And I'm like, and then he'll look at me at the corner of his eyes like, but he'll be like, yeah, it's because of her.
That's amazing.
Yeah, my son, like, at that age, I didn't even know what protein was. But like, he will be like, Mom, stop buying junk. Like, I like these protein bars. Buy me these bars. Mm. And my daughter, like, she's, she wears an Apple Watch. She competes with me with her steps. She gets her water in. And a funny story, over COVID, she was there to watch me do every single online workout in the basement. And I convinced her to do online Taekwondo because she saw me doing it. I was like, why don't you do Taekwondo? She actually got her black belt by continuing it over COVID and doing her classes online. Wow. So, inspiring my friends and family around me has been my number one.
And that's a big part, like, as part of what I try to preach in the program is, hey, we want to lose fat. We want to get PRs, we want to get ready for the vacations and all that stuff. The more and more I've thought about what I want Training for Warriors to be and these 5 pillars of Excelsior Health is we want to transform because we want to make a true impact in our life. So the phrase that I call it, I got it from Ed Milet, is like, hey, it comes down to like, there's always going to be one person in your family that decides enough is enough. Like, I'm going to change the trajectory of my life. And for Reena, she was the person. She was the one that said, hey, I can't take care of my 2 kids right now. I'm obese. I'm unhealthy. I need to make a change. She's made that change. She's never given up on herself over the last 10 years. She's lost over 100 pounds. And now her husband is bought into the healthy lifestyle. Her kids are not going to be the same way she grew up on. And that's what it's about, guys. So if you're ever like sitting there debating, is it worth investing in my health? Is it worth the effort of training and, changing around my life? Of course it is when you hear stories like that. All right. So other things that I want to know, those are some of the things that you're proud about. Actually, I want to say a couple of things. Is you didn't mention you're Student of the Year. All right, Student of the Year.
So long ago.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
I think I need to
re-up. She also won one of our core values, Nashtan Lieb, which means love the person next to you, right? Reena's definitely one person in the program who's just always looking to like connect with people, right? I think that's probably something that's kept you accountable too, is you do a really good job of connecting to people that are starting the program. Mm-hmm. You're kind of offering like encouragement of like, hey man, you could do it. Yeah. But also one thing I noticed for you, which I think is a very good habit and you got to keep doing it, is you build good relationships with people that are on the right path. Yep. Is you notice that, hey man, like this person's consistent, they work hard, they're walking, they're trying to do this, and then you get closer to them.
Feed off of them.
Exactly. Too. Why do you do that?
Because I need that. I do it. I love that person, but I'm also selfish in the way that I need that person's account. Like I need them to do it with me.
Good.
And I love watching them succeed in return. It's just like the more people you help, the more you get in return.
Exactly.
Exactly that concept.
Good. So that's another good little nugget to take away is like surround yourself with people that are on the same path. That's why people love training for warriors. They come here, they meet other people. But even if you don't come to a program like this, is there people in your life that are healthier, fitter? Do they do certain things in their career? Do they got a good marriage? It's like spend more time with those people so you feed off of their good habits and you start to incorporate it in your life. Now, those are some of the good things. What I want to know is some of the tough things, right? Like the challenges, like what have you had to endure? Like obviously you talked a little bit about the beginning with your daughter, which I had no idea. What are some things, physically that you've had to endure during this process? Maybe mental barriers, even emotional, social things, because it's not easy.
Yeah, no, mentally, like I said before too, telling yourself you deserve it, and then not hitting your goals, like it's a big mental issue that I've had for many years. Also, I don't know, physical challenges. Ever since I hit 40, I feel like I have a new injury every year. So my shoulder's been very injured, and thanks to Dr. Nikesa, who's friggin' amazing, she's been helping me get better. So as I'm losing all this weight, and I'm so excited to finally be able to do like push-ups and attempt a chin-up, my shoulder's setting me back now. So just getting through that. Um, and then social, like this year, I think one of the biggest things that led to my success this year is saying no to a lot of social events. Picking and choosing the ones I really need to go to and have to go to and want to go to, and those that I don't need to go to.
So we're going to break down a little of those categories. So going back to mental, I think that's a big thing. Everybody talks about like, hey, can you do this workout? Can you eat a certain way? Usually it's the stress, usually it's the mental things in our life that stop us from doing the actual tactical things. One thing that me and you have talked a lot about is why power, but we also talked a lot about like identity. And what you mentioned to me too is like, man, it's like I was years of being overweight. Then it's as I'm losing weight, it's worried like, am I going to have loose skin? What am I going to do? Talk to a little bit about the mental identity shift and the things that maybe you got to remind yourself and talk through to be able to keep going.
Yeah, like the loose skin is a huge physical challenge for myself. As I did lose it over COVID, I noticed a lot of loose skin. I actually reached out to a plastic surgeon and I got a quote for like $20,000. As soon as I heard that, I was like, screw this. Why am I doing this? I might as well go back to gaining the weight and not have to worry about the loose skin. And now I've had to remind myself, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Once we get there, just keep going.
Good. And me and you have had those conversations. And I think this is like a conversation that a lot of people maybe are scared to have, maybe embarrassed to have. My opinion, I'm not someone who's had to go through that. But what I would say is exhaust all the options as possible of getting in the best shape of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like when we talk about body fat percentage and stuff like that, is like get as low, as fit and healthy as possible. So like, for example, I would, what I would coach Reena is like, hey, Reena, like let's get to like low 20% body fat. And then when you're at that state, then you can make those decisions, But I always tell people, it's like if we're in the 30s, if we're in the high 20s, there's still more room to go.
Not even just get there. The main thing, you have to stay there for a year. Like, I don't want to go up and down and then get the surgery and then gain back another 50 pounds. Well,
exactly.
That's not what I want to do.
And in a day and age now where surgeries, there's different types of surgeries we're talking about. There's, Ozempic, there's different things that people can take. I don't want to judge anybody for the choices they make. All I would say as a coach is really exhaust the healthy options. And then once you've done that and you're in that seat, then you can go that route if you need to.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one thing that I know me and Reena, we're going to keep pushing her is like, hey, once we get to that stage, hopefully she makes some more money. And if she then we can explore that. Okay, next thing is physical. We said pain, right?
Yeah, like just the injuries. And
I want to say something about the physical. One thing that I want to say about physical is like, I think sometimes people will throw on like, strength training. Like strength training is just going to beat you up. It's like, what would you rather have? Like, would you rather visit your physiotherapist every now and then because you got a little crank in your shoulder, you got to tweak your knee a little bit, or would you rather not be able to walk down the stairs? Would you not rather not to like, get up out of your seat and you throw out your back? Would you rather not be able to run with your kids, go on vacation, go for hikes? Like, it really bothers me when people like attach all their pain
Yeah.
to their training.
Yep.
So one thing that I want everyone to understand is, yes, if you train for 10 years, 20 years, there's going to be aches and pains along the way. That's why it's very, very important to train smart, right? Adapt your training as you go. It doesn't mean you always got to do heavy barbell things. Use dumbbells, use kettlebells, your body weight. But it's like develop a relationship with a good physiotherapy. And I think that's something for you the last 5 years you've really incorporated to help you do what you love.
Yep. And like both my mother-in-law and my mom have had knee replacements on both their knees. So
meanwhile, you're doing like vertical jumps, broad jumps.
But that's what I mean. Like,
see that ply over there? We're gonna work on that too. You see it?
You got a box.
You got a box on there.
Oh boy.
All right. So social wise, I think this is a big topic for you.
Huge.
So give a little quick story. Reena's birthday was not too long ago. Reena always showers my families with little gifts. She's always so thoughtful. She knows everybody's birthdays. I'm the worst at birthdays. I don't remember anybody's birthdays. But, Reena's been with me for such a long time that I'm like, hey, Reena, like, let's go for dinner. Like, the best thing I can always do is like give my time. And one thing I love to do is go to dinner. And she rejected me. But she did it in a way that made me so proud, because she was like, honestly, coach, I'd love to go to dinner and I really appreciate you making the time, but I'm just so focused on my goals right now. And if I go in that environment, I'm just going to eat some stuff and I'm going to be off track. And I was just looking at the text message and I was just like, yes.
It was because I had already committed to one Saturday and Sunday. So I was like, I can't eat out every single day.
So reject the other people. Why are you rejecting me?
They asked me first.
So for you, I guess talk about that, like your ability to say no.
Yeah, no, like years ago, we'd be out every weekend, whether it was hockey, parents, like just getting together for drinks, parties, family functions. It was endless. My schedule was insane. This year, like I said to my husband, I was like, I'm going to focus on myself and I'm going to say no to things I know I can say no to. If I haven't been to a single hockey tournament this year, and that's been like my biggest thing, is to be at every single tournament. But I know what happens at these tournaments. And I did not want to be in that environment.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of sacrifice, but it's been worth it. Like I still went on vacations. I'm not going to say no to a vacation.
Yeah.
But those weekly unnecessary social gatherings that were happening did not happen this year.
One quote that when you're saying that I think about from James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits. One quote that always like stands out to me is, your environment is more powerful than your willpower. So willpower to me comes from like knowing your goals and being very clear, having a very deep emotional reason why. That helps you have this willpower to be like, no, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's discipline. We need that to a certain extent. However, putting yourself in places where you're most likely to succeed is just even easier.
Yeah, and I guess that's something I have to work on. I don't have that willpower to say no when I'm in that situation.
Yeah, and but the point that I'm saying is we need both.
Yeah.
So you're being smart where it's like, put yourself in a situation where you're much more likely to succeed. If your house is covered with the stuff that sets you off, alcohol, junk food, so forth, if you spend time with certain people that set you off path, it's hard to say no to that.
Yeah.
So use both in favor. Be clear on your goals, understand your why power. It will help you have a little bit more willpower, but then put yourself in the right environment. All right. Now, switching gears, I want you to put on Coach Reena hat. We have something in our shred season that we call our trivia. This is our trivia champion. She's got the most titles. She's only lost once. And right now, she's going to basically give some advice that has helped her. But basically what I want you to do, using our 5 pillars, give some tips on how you can help a busy professional have transformational results, basically like how you have. So, just so everybody understands, like the 5 pillars, I created that in COVID. This is a way to help me better guide our students on their transformation journey. And not just to exercise, because exercise is important, but it's more, how do I build this healthy lifestyle. And what I believe is there's 5 key areas of our life, and there's these certain elements under these areas. And if you are consistently improving these standards, your health is going to continue to develop and evolve. All right. So for you, Reena, pillar number 1, quizzing you, what is it?
Oh gosh, is it nutrition, right? Or training and movement.
Damn! First answer wrong.
That's why I'm not doing trivia anymore. I'm done. I quit.
So training and movement. What would be your tip for a busy professional?
So for each pillar, like I always emphasize, keep it simple, stupid. Like just keep it simple. For training and movement, if somebody had told me 10 years ago, and I'm not saying that you should have told me this, but walk.
Yeah.
Like who knew walking would have such a huge impact on my life? Walk, squat, push, pull, hinge. Like that other trainer, he made me do like the craziest stuff. So if you're new to this journey and you're very overweight and not overweight, walking and doing simple basic movements in the gym will help. Will get you to where you want to be.
And it's true. I'll be real. Like, 10 years ago as a coach, I didn't really tell people to walk that much. You know what I'm saying? When I started to really put that into my coaching, it was like 2020. Because I started doing it and I started experiencing the benefits and I started learning more. And that's the number one thing is if you are overweight, let's say it is 100 pounds like Reena used to be, 50, even something as simple as 15, getting more steps in is one of the best things you can do to help lose more body fat. And then on top of that, like what Reena's suggesting is keep your training simple. So for example, Reena, when you do a typical strength workout, how many exercises do you typically do in a workout, give or take?
4.
4, 5, maybe 6.
Yeah.
Right? And then in most cases, guys, like typically it's around, we do 5 sets, 3 sets, 10 to 12 sets of hard intensity in a workout. That's enough for people to do.
100%.
And a couple of the movement patterns that you mentioned was
like just do a squat, like just a body weight squat.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of, I'm a pain-free performance specialist, one of the certifications that I have. The guy who created it is Dr. John Russin. Martin Rooney created the Training for Warriors system. All the common things, the things that you see within all these systems, like Reena said, you should squat often, right? You should hinge often. Those are kind of your lower body stuff. Push, pull, carry, and if your body's able to, sprint. And sprinting could be sprinting, which this is what Reena does every single week.
Yeah.
Or it could be just raising your heart rate up on a assault bike, on an agility ladder. There's different forms of that. All right. So training wise, one thing that I always want to kind of give you your flowers for is like over 10 years, how many times have you not trained at least 3 times a week?
Only if I'm away.
If you're on vacation, right? Like,
but also like my form's still not perfect after 10 years.
Yeah, neither is mine.
So, no, I know. So, like, you have to be open to wanting to learn how to train.
Yeah.
You're not just listening to someone doing what they're telling you to do. You have to really understand it and understand the form and the benefits of it. I think that's what helps the most.
And that's part of like why we say not client, we say student.
Yeah.
If you have that mindset, you're always going to figure out new ways to train and be like, and just to Reena's point, like she hasn't perfected her form, even though she has really, really good form when she does squats and deadlifts. I'm a coach and every year I'm learning little tweaks and little things to think about to improve my own form. So fitness is something that's forever. That's the good thing about it. Now, pillar number 2, nutrition habits. What tip would you give?
Same thing. Keep it simple. This year has been exceptional for me with my nutrition, and I don't measure. I don't use an app. I don't track. I use my hand and I use my fists and I use my fingers. So keep it simple. Have your 3 plates, measure your protein with your palm, make sure you're getting 3 to 4 servings, get your water, and that's it. Okay. Something else I focused on this year, just to take it up a notch, is my supplements.
Nice.
So I've been known to be really bad at taking supplements. This year, religiously, I've taken my vitamin D, my B12, my vitamin C, my magnesium at night, and I think that's really helped my health.
What made you add that in?
It was just, I just needed to make a change. Like I needed to,
just do a little bit more
trying to get to the next level, and I felt like the creatine everybody was telling me to take, I started, like that's been part of my diet. So that's helped.
Good. So a couple good points there. Like supplements is fantastic. In our 5 pillars when it comes to nutrition, that's like our 4th element. So think of it as like the icing on the cake. You got to eat quality foods, and then like Reena's saying is you got to be able to look at the plate and put appropriate portions and track those things. And then when the time is right, yeah, adding supplements fills in the gaps of the things that you don't mainly get with your inconsistent eating sometimes. A couple things maybe we can help, someone who's watching. A palm of protein, typically how much is that?
Like 20 to 30 grams.
All right, so your palm, right, 20 to 30 grams, that gets you in the ballpark when you're tracking your protein. That's the place that we always focus on the most. A cupped hand of carbs, how much is that? Same thing, right? 25 to 30 grams. Sweet potato, rice. Don't feel guilty having it. Just have the right portion sizes of it, right? If we want to make sure we're getting servings of veggies, what would be a good way to measure that?
Your fist.
Right? If it was a healthy fat, what would be another way?
Like your thumb.
There you go, right? So these are all things that in the program that we teach, but more than just knowing it, it takes time.
But it
implementing
creates less
it.
stress in your life. Like you don't have to carry a scale with you when you go somewhere. You have your hand with you.
Yeah.
So just use your hand wherever you go, and it makes life so much easier.
Yeah. At one point, I do want to emphasize, like, so you can see Reena's not counting calories, but you understand calories.
I do. And I feel like maybe at some point coming up, I will have to dial in a bit more to get further in my goals. But for now, it's been working.
Yeah. And you're doing a form of calorie counting, but you're doing it in just an easier, more estimate. So just want everybody to understand that, like, you can't escape the laws of, thermodynamics of like, hey, I basically have to eat less and move more to burn body fat. But there's ways to do it. There's habits. There's systems that you can create to allow you to do that. So it's like most people don't need to count calories. There might be a time and a place down the road where it can help you. I encourage people to do it because it just gives you a better understanding of, wow, this friggin' peanut butter is this. Wow, this tequila is that. And then it goes moving forward.
Or the opposite, you could be under eating. So it'll show you that, yeah, you should be adding in more carbs in your day, right? So
I wish most people undereat.
I think that's a big problem for some people.
Yeah, under eating to a certain extent, but not under consuming calories.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some people will like.
Well, identifying what macros are overeating in or under eating in.
Yeah. Most people will like not eat throughout the day, but then at night they're eating once and then it's a bunch of calories.
Yeah.
All right, so rest and recovery.
So I know everybody at the gym is laughing at me right now because rest is probably the one thing I'm really bad at. I need to work on adding in more rest days in my week. But recovery, I've been really focusing on. Like I go to Nikesa for my shoulder very often, once a week. And religiously, I will go for a massage twice a month, if not once a month, for sure.
Good. So adding in that relationship with the physio, making sure you're getting those checkups so you can continue to train hard.
Yeah. And just doing mobility movements outside of my workouts.
Yeah, and I think one thing for you, like you train typically 5 days a week for the most part, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think, in my opinion, as I've matured, I've always been like the workout training, like, yo, let's bust it, go hard. As I'm maturing, I feel like 4 days a week is like the sweet spot for most people that they don't really need to go over. I think it's more different forms of training. So for example, like if you do 4 good strength training sessions, like that's enough. And then now a 5th session could be yoga. Another session could be like light cardio. Like you want to have some diversity to your training. So mostly with Reena, you do 4 strength days, 1 cardio is like your typical routine. That's typically mine too when I'm feeling at my best. So keep that in mind, right? There are people that you're going to sit down with that will train 5 days a week, 4 days a week. The key thing, like Reena's saying, is you just got to make sure you recover because the results happen when we're resting and we're eating the right food.
Right.
2 big ones, resilient mindset. So with this one, like what are like 2 big lessons maybe that you've learned along the journey to help you with this resilient mindset?
I'm going to say goal setting is huge. I'm somebody who never used to set goals in my life, but setting goals has been huge. Even just this year, I set a big goal in January. I said I want to get to 160. I think that was like 70 pounds from where I was. But I didn't just look at that one number all year. I broke it down. I was like, I need to lose 10 pounds this month, 5 pounds this month. This month I'm going on a vacation. So let's do 2 this month. And I broke it down to small little goals that were achievable.
Yeah.
And I've been hitting them along the way, because it wasn't like every month I didn't want to remember that 70-pound goal. I wanted to remember that 5-pound goal.
Yep.
And I have built a spreadsheet, and just seeing the small numbers help them add up more and more.
I want to hit home on that, because there's the quote, right? Like, how to eat an elephant, one bite size at a time, and all that stuff. That's true, right? And like you said, is you might have this big ass scary goal, which seems so far away that there's no way you're gonna achieve it. You have to confront it, and the goal has to be big enough that it motivates you. So it's like, we had that goal in the beginning of the year. It's like, yo, like, we're gonna lose, 100 pounds. Like, it should excite you. But then once you establish that, it's what Reena did, is break it down, have a path, right? Directions on how to get there, but then visit the goals frequently. And that's something she did. She puts it in her Excel. She sees it every week. She talks to a coach, right? She gets evaluated. If you set a goal and it's just in the corner and you never open that book again, the likelihood that you're going to achieve it.
And I think that's a mistake I've made in the past, where it's like, oh my God, I got to lose 100 pounds. I got to lose 100 pounds. I got to lose 100 pounds. And it just discourages you along the way when you don't see those numbers go down.
Yeah. What would be a positive environment kind of coaching tip that you would give someone?
Social. We've talked about this. Surround yourself with people who push you, who understand you, and who motivate you, and who are on the same path as you. And it's okay to let go of those people that don't, right? It's okay to say, you know what, I'm busy. I got to focus on me, and I got to focus on finding that group of people that's going to do that for you.
Have you had to spend less time with certain friends?
Oh, yeah.
And family members?
100%. And they've felt it, and I've, just dealt with it. And it's just part of the process.
Easy, hard?
It's hard. But, one thing I've learned throughout the years is it's okay to be selfish. And that's what's going to get you the results.
Okay. And talk to me a little bit about, what does that mean? Because people say that a lot, you're a busy mom, you have a career that's demanding, you're a wife. What is being selfish to you? What have you learned about that?
That for you to be the better version of yourself, you need to put yourself first. So you, like they say, as a mom, you have to put your mask on before you put it on your kids. You need to get better in order to take care of everybody else around you. And that may mean saying no to a bunch of friends, or saying, you know what, I'm busy and I can't, this isn't me. So so being selfish, just making sure that you put yourself first.
So for example, there is a 40-year-old woman who's listening to this podcast right now. They're putting their kids first. They're putting their husband first, their house first, their work. They're overweight. They're a mess. They don't feel sexy. They don't feel healthy. What are some ways that you put yourself first that they can extract and then start doing for themselves?
Training, you mean?
Just overall. Training is an example. You put yourself first there.
Yeah. And this is what frustrates me, is I have so many people in my life that are like, you're so lucky. You get to, go to the gym. You have a husband who supports you. You have kids who can take care of themselves. But no one's awake at 4:30 in the morning when I'm here. So it's like, I'm sacrificing my sleep, my life, to have a better life. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. You have to put yourself first. Don't feel guilty. Your kids are not going to be better if you're 100 pounds overweight 10 years from now. They're going to be better if you're the best version of yourself, and that you're there for them, and they're proud of you, and you're the best role model they could have asked for.
And that's one thing a lot of moms, especially, I think more than dads too, but it's this story that we tell ourselves, we talk about the identity, is if I give up this time, and if I buy this food, if I spend this money, I'm taking away from these people. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. Is if you take care of your health, mental, physical, emotional, the people around you, they are the ones that are going to be the most grateful.
Yeah.
Because when they see you happy, when they see you thriving, more energy, they're the ones that are going to benefit from it.
Yeah. I try and teach my parents about protein. people at that age don't even know what they should be eating and how much protein they should be eating, but yet they're like, they can't even walk at that age anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like teaching the people around you what you're learning, and you can only do that by learning yourself first, right?
Good. So a couple more questions as we wrap up. You know, you've been in this program for 10 years. You know, we've had lots of conversations, hopefully lots of lessons learned. What's one lesson that maybe you could share with people watching this?
Well, you know, being selfish was one of them that I was thinking about. Um, yeah, you know, make that promise to yourself and keep it. Yeah, so like keeping the promise to yourself, knowing that your journey's not going to be, you know, you're not going to hit your goals in a straight line. There's going to be many ups and downs. But what I've learned and what I love about my journey is that I've had fun and I've learned so many things along the way. I've met so many amazing people along the way. It's all part of the process. So just enjoy it. It's
Nope.
not going to be simple. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to be lucky. It's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it.
One phrase that like you just said is like success is not linear. You know, a lot of people get into fitness and they think it's going to be 12 months of like this just simple trajectory. And the people that realize quickly that it's not going to be, I should expect it to be hard. I should expect it for me to go backwards, upwards, down, and then go forward. They're the ones that are facing the real truth. And they're the ones that go forward. And I'll say I'm very proud of you over the last 10 years to witness so many of the ups, but to see even those times that you're down is you keep fighting. You keep learning, you keep coming back from the situations better. And I think it's the same thing with us in Training for Warriors, right? Over the 10 years, we just keep learning, we keep fighting, we keep growing. So whether it's your fitness, whether it's your career, it's your relationship, it's business, success is not linear. You have to keep going. And the people that just don't give up, they eventually get somewhere. They get results.
But the ups are so worth it,
Hell yeah.
right? Like, I remember when I was in Hawaii last year, I sent you a picture of me climbing Diamond Head. Like, who would have thought I would have been able to hike that? Or even, like, jump off a cliff in Jamaica or climb Dunn's River. Like, so all of that is so worth, like, the 10 years of ups and downs, for sure.
Facts. And that's what we call bringing out the warrior within, right? It's just like once you go through the health, whether it's 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it takes, 20 years, and you ultimately transform your health, it's all the other opportunities that get unlocked in your life because of the ability to stick with it over time.
Yeah.
Right. So last question, one that I always like to ask people, if you were to go back, you know, to 19-year-old Reena, who's overweight, insecure, doesn't know how she's going to manage things, going back to sitting in your chair, literally watching your daughter with her hands up, not moving, not prioritizing yourself, what advice would maybe you give yourself? What wisdom would you put on yourself to keep going?
I guess, you know, I wish I could tell myself, get up and move. Like, what are you doing sitting there? Like, I feel frustrated when I think of myself then, because it's like, what was I doing? I had help around me. Why didn't I just go for a walk for an hour? Like, why didn't I eat like, why was I not able to eat healthy food taking care of her? So it's frustrating to go back and see myself there. And I don't even know what I would tell myself, because I don't know.
You gotta say something. She's listening to the camera right now in the time warp like Spider-Man or the Spider-Verse.
I would say you can do it and you deserve it.
Good. I think deserve it is a good phrase,
Yeah.
right? Because everybody deserves to feel healthy and happy. And sometimes we don't think we do. You know, and I think maybe another phrase that I always use in the program that I think about when I'm going through shit is like, don't get bitter, get better.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Right now I could choose to be frustrated and why me and be a victim, or I could say, this is a greater purpose. I'm the one who's going to save my daughter's life. I'm the one who's going to change the trajectory of my family. So maybe for some of you guys that are going through some personal issues, those are things that you can tell yourself is I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be successful. But also it's like, I'm going through this difficult time. I'm going to extract some sort of positive lesson from this to continue to go forward. So I want to end off, Reena. Hey, one thing that you said in this podcast is like, you know, me believing in you and kind of always being a support system and never giving up on you. You know, one thing that I want to give my love to you is, hey, you've never given up on me. You know, we've been together as coaches and student for over 10 years because this time is like kind of like when we first started working together. I think it was like October in like 2015,
Yep.
right? About that time. And no matter what, as I've evolved and changed as a man, I coached her when I had no kids. Now I got four. She's always trusted my judgment as a leader. She's always supported me, when other people maybe had different opinions. Reena's always been someone who's super loyal to this program, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So I thank you for being a loyal student, and I just look forward to more stories and more of your transformation, because that's one of the things I love is when I have students, for 3 years, 4 years, 10, it's being able to all the time just praise what they've been able to do.
Well, like it's a journey. Your fitness is never over. So I got new goals.
Let's go. All right, guys. So, hey, this is Reena's transformation story. Hopefully inspired you. If this one hit home, share this one. Maybe there's someone in your life that, hey, they need to lose 100 pounds. They're having their ups and downs. There's definitely some great wisdom that Reena shared with us today that they can learn from that. Do us a favor, guys. Share it out. Leave some reviews, and we're going to keep doing our best to bring you guys some values. I'm Coach Cory, my girl Reena.